Okay, everybody, welcome to Neverwinter. I am going to today be looking at the Warlock and its power steps for the Hellbringer path. Hellbringer Warlock is the DPS side, and the other side is the healing side. So both will be running off of the same sort of powers, feats, that sort of stuff. We shouldn't need a separate build. Not for the build that I have, at least. You can find other builds online that will require a single target specific class feats, so feats down the bottom, and specific ones for AoE. But I found for my tests what's most practical for damage and play is the build that I have here. Now, is it the absolute maximum top tier damage? Probably not, but as I say, this is my least played class in Neverwinter. I play this class less than every other class, as personally, I just don't enjoy it that much. But if it's your thing, we'll go through it anyway, and we'll figure out how it performs. So first things first, we'll have a little look over here in powers, and we have got our class feats. Now, down here, this is where it really makes the difference. There are so many different builds for Warlock, that require, Wrathful Souls, Creeping Death, Risky Investment, and all these sort of ones here, including Double Scorch. But this is what I happen to prefer, and I found that this works for play best for me, and so I'm going to just share it with you guys. So, Power of the Nine Hells, it's just going to give you that soul puppet, damage that is going to be reliably just ticking with the soul puppet, even when you're not hitting. Warlock's Curse, your powers deal 15% more damage when affected with the curse. You're going to be applying a curse straight away with this build, so you're almost always going to be getting this bonus. Soul's Divestion, Desecration, Soul Desecration. Your soul puppet no longer dissipates after 20 seconds, deals 100% more damage, and you will automatically summon a soul puppet if one is not active. So you always have a soul puppet up, which is nice. Don't proccing it, it's always going to be there. Which actually means I probably didn't need this feat here. I could probably run with Soul Scorch because this one just keeps it up. But never mind, it is what it is. I've got this. I don't have the tokens and the currency to retrain it. Executioner's Gift. Your powers deal 30% more damage when your target's health diminishes. Just adding that bit more damage as you get further into the fight. And then Soul Sparks Recovery. This is one that I really like. I like my cooldowns. Your cooldowns will be reduced for 1 second for each Soul Spark you consume with your Soul Scorch. And that would pair really nice with this one. And that's what I'm running. Deadly Curse. You're going to get a 25 magnitude extra of damage when you apply your curse. And I've got this on. Upon entering combat or whenever you kill an enemy, generate 6 soul sparks and heal for 5% of your maximum hit points. Now, this doesn't work in the training room, but it does in actual content, and so this is a really nice one to have. For AoE, we're going to go for Soul Siphon, and I've got my single target, Tyrannical Curse. Soul Siphon, obviously just a nice little AoE that's going to just pop up around you. And for your encounter powers, we're going to use the Hellfire Ring. That's going to be the way you apply your curse. Your Fiery Bolt, the AoE burst damage, and your Arms of Hadar. Now, Arms of Hadar is a bit of a it's kind of melee, but it's kind of range, because obviously it says range 35 feet, but you have to be pretty close to hit as many enemies as possible. But it does actually do a decent bit of damage. And up here in my right trigger, I have Hands of Blight as the melee, and the melee generates 2 soul sparks, which is quite nice. However, Hellish Rebuke is what I'm going to be using, and I'm going to be partially animation cancelling this to get my souls back quicker. But also, it generates 1 soul spark as a damage over time hit. So it generates them even when you're not actively fighting. And so this is what it looks like. I'm going to pop my little ad grip up, and I'm going to pop my Hellfire Ring. So immediately look, 2 soul sparks. I'm entered combat, I've got 2 soul sparks straight off the bat. My soul puppet is active. You can see I can gain combat advantage on my soul puppet once I actually start hitting. So I'm going to start off. That is the curses of being applied to the enemies. And then I'll pop my fiery bolt. Then I'll pop my last one. And then I'll use my soul spark. Boom. Got my ring back. And I'll use all three. And consume. And then I'll just use them when they come off cooldown. If you see here, once I get to around about the 4 pips, I'll consume. That's 4 seconds off of my encounters. As you see here, it's a matter of just consuming the soul spark pips. And consuming the soul spark pips is what's going to give me my masses of damage. But yeah, as you see there, it's absolutely insane cooldowns. So once again, I cast my my little AoE here. That gives me my curse, fiery bolt, and the last one my hand, and then I'm back to using my soul spark and soul scorch, and that gives me back my my encounters back quicker. I've got 5. That's 5 seconds off my encounter powers. Animation cancel it a few times, and that's my encounters back again. Consume those 4. Hands back. Got my ring. Reapply my ring. Apply that, and then soul scorch twice. That's 5 seconds, and it comes back. It's a super fast hitting and really quite heavy hitting AoE setup. Plus, you're always going to be getting damage from your little soul puppet, which is going to be helping you the whole way. So really effective AoE, performing very, very well at the moment in pretty much all content. It's performing really, really well. Now we're going to go into single target. Now, single target, there's a lot of other builds for this, but this is just the build that I happen to run, and it's relying on your Hellish Rebuke and animation cancelling it, as you see here, getting their soul pips back, and then I can use my soul scorch a couple of times, and that gives me that massive cooldown reduction. As you see, it's going to be giving me my my time back, and there's a discussion to be had whether your Hands of Blight will give you it back quicker when you cast this once, and then Hand of Blight, will that work quicker? I think it actually does. Let me use up my Soul Scorch, and then one of these, and then Hand of Blights, getting that 2 pip back, and I actually think it works faster than animation cancelling. Anyway, so your rotation is going to be, actually let me look at the powers first. So down here, same feats. We're going to go over to here to Dark Prayers. Whenever your target is affected by a curse, dies, spawned, a soul puppet will generate. The curse one is good, but Dark Prayers is not what I'm going to use. I'm going to use, sorry about this, entering combat, no. I'm probably just going to use Dust to Dust, to be honest, to gain that 5% increase to damage. And then if I go into my powers, I'll be using, once again, the Hellfire Ring to apply the curse and a bit of damage over time. I'll be applying my, my Vampiric Embrace. It gives me a bit of healing, but it's a 500 magnitude single target hit, which is nice. And Killing Flames afterwards will give you a nice big bit of damage. And how it's going to look is I'm going to just do my 3 encounters, X, Y, B, my Soul Scorches to get the cooldown back, and then 1, 2, 3 again, Hellish Rebuke, and then my hand, Hellish Rebuke, hand, and that gives that back nice and quick. And then got my 3 encounter powers, and then Soul Scorch, and then my 3 encounter powers. Let me try animation cancel, see if that's quicker. No, it's not. It does mean you can be ranged, but it's no quicker than if you just use your Hand of Blight. So if you're just doing your Hellish Rebuke and your Hand of Blight, you don't have to animation cancel. But if you're a range, and your animation cancelling, it's just as fast as if you used a Hand of Blight. So once again, that's 1 encounter, 2 encounters, 3 encounters, Soul Scorch out the wazoo, done with the Soul Scorch, and then 1, 2, 3 Hellish Rebukes, and then Hand of Blight until you get that those pips back, and then 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2 with the Scorch, and then back to your encounters again, a couple of these, and then back to your Hand of Blight. And you know, you can be a really effective single target damage dealer with this sort of rotation. It's a really effective rotation. So now we're going to look at the artifact call. Now for the artifact call, I'm going to pop down the ring first before the artifact call. Now I actually haven't got a Tactician's Precision on here. I don't really need it. I do have a Cavalry's Haste. It does smoothen out the rotation a bit, but not too much. So how I'll do it is I'll apply this, I'll then drop my artifact, then my 2 encounter powers, my Soul Scorch, which I should already have fully stacked before the rotation, and then Bigby's Hand, daily power, then Bigby's Hand, and then my next encounter powers. So how this is going to look is on the ground, artifact, 1, 2, daily power, mount power, a couple of these, Soul Scorch. Sorry, that rotation went really badly. Let me go back and do it again. Sorry about that, guys. Pop him down, pop him back up. Gonna need to wait a minute just until we are off our cooldown. Invoke while I'm at it. Yeah, so we need to remember, as I said, I don't really play this class that often. It's not my favourite class to play. But it does do a ton of damage at the moment, an absolute ton of damage. As you see here, I can then use 6 encounter powers because of these Soul Sparks, boom, in really close succession, which really helps without putting lots of damage, just making sure I'm keeping my Hellish Rebuke at will up here to keep that regeneration of Soul Sparks, and then use my Hand of Blight to get the Soul Sparks back quicker. Use my 3 encounter powers, 1 and 2 on the Soul Sparks, and then I can apply my Hellish Rebuke again, my 3 encounter powers, and my Hand of Blight. Excellent. Now I'm going to move into the artifact call, hopefully do it a bit smoother. I'm going to do my Hellish Rebuke, I believe, not Hellish Rebuke, my little Ring of Fire on the ground, I've forgotten what it's called. My 2 encounters, my daily, my mount, my Soul Sparks recovery, and then I'm going to move into my next 3 encounters. So I'm going to drop it and work it. Soul Sparks recovery, boom, Bigby's Hand, boom, and then another 3 encounter powers. And that is your encounter rotation. If I had a belt item, that would have fitted an exact 10 seconds. And that's with just 1 Cavalry's Haste. If you don't have Cavalry's Haste, that's fine. You'll still get another couple of encounter powers, another 1 or 2 encounter powers at the end, but it won't hit quite as hard. And so we're going to go for 1 last rotation, and we're going to go from there and see how it goes. So let me go and get my action points back and get ready for the last rotation. So as you see here, we also have this from range if you want it, but it's obviously more potent from melee. So we're going to use it in melee. Okay, so as I said, we're going to drop our Hellfire Ring on the ground. Then we're going to apply our Vampiric Embrace. We're then going to apply our Killing Flames. Over to our dailies, we're going to use Tyrannical Curse. And from Tyrannical Curse, we're then going to use our Soul Scorch, and then we're going to use our Hellfire Ring, Killing Flames, and our Vampiric Embrace again. So, starting off, Hellfire Ring on the ground, Artifact, and my 2 encounter powers. Use my daily, use my mount, use my Soul Scorch, and back come my encounter powers. And just like that, we have completed an artifact call with 1 Cavalry's Haste. If you did have Tactician's Precision, there is a possibility you could possibly squeeze out even more encounters, because you could do this rotation here, which I don't have on this character, unfortunately, that you could go, you know, your 3 encounter powers, just as I did. Your daily power, that would give you your encounters back straight away. 3 more encounters, and then once you've done your 3 more encounters, you could do your Soul Scorch recovery twice, your Big Beast Hand, and you could possibly still get off another 2 encounter powers. So it does have a lot of potential if you have Tactician's Precision. It's just the one character that I don't have it on because I don't really play this character all that much. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I will catch you in the next one. Goodbye for now.